I'm Jasmine Woodard Rose, and my family is excited to invite Homeworthy along as we renovate our nearly 200-year-old Charleston home filled with history. When we bought the house, it was like full frat house. We'll be designing its next chapter, transforming it from a makeshift college frat house to a fabulous family home. And it's just going to be a really magical place that will hopefully be forever. After a decade living in New York, my husband Evan and I are eager to shape this Southern home for our family, who we know will have countless memories here in the years to come. It's a design journey we're just beginning, and we're so excited to show you around.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hey Homeworthy, I'm Jasmine. Welcome to my ongoing renovation in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm so excited to show you guys around. Come on in. Hi, I am Jasmine Woodard Rose, and I'm a consultant here in Charleston.
Hi, I'm Evan Rose, and I run a digital agency based in New York. So we visited Charleston after being in Hilton Head for a little while, and we just did it kind of on a lark. We just were thinking about, we hadn't been to Charleston in many years, and we just wanted to have a little fun, spend a week there. I think it was more than a week, and just enjoy ourselves. And so when we got here, we were just struck by the beauty of the city and how much it's matured. And I think the big thing that hit me was like a feeling of a gravitational pull of the city. It felt like we were meant to be here. I'm not sure, for what, maybe it's, what you're doing now, but it was just a gravitational pull. And I just remember watching you walk down the street in one of your beautiful floral dresses, and it looked like your shoulders had released. They were like, I feel like in New York, you walk around with your shoulders up to here all the time, and there's all the people around you. And then here, you just seemed relaxed and at peace and focused and also just in your element. And so to me, I was like, we gotta figure this out. Let's make this happen.
So when we came to visit, it was 2021. It was in June. And, we had spent more than a decade at that point living in New York. And, I kind of thought that we were going to be New Yorkers. We had just moved into, I thought was our forever home on the Upper West Side. That's pre-war classic six that I was like, we made it. But, I had actually grown up in the South. I had spent, my childhood in South Carolina and then North Carolina. I had hoped we would move back South, but I kind of thought, Evan being from New York, that we would probably settle on a Dallas or an Atlanta maybe. But it was June 2021, and we came to Charleston just for a couple of weeks. And I think, Evan was right. It felt right. I wasn't fully convinced though, because I had grown up coming out here and did not think Charleston was the place to be. And so I said, okay, let's go back to New York. And if we can get Josephine into school, then I'll do it. If not, we're gonna stay in New York. So we got back to New York, and I reached out to a school here that I knew. And I was like, they're definitely gonna take us. Why wouldn't they? We're great. And they immediately were like, oh, there's a wait list because school starts in 8 weeks. So basically, I was like, okay, that's fine. But fortunately, they reached back out to us in August and said a spot had opened up. And we took that as a sign. And we came down here with suitcases, still had our apartment in New York because we had no time to pack. But we came down, we're fortunate enough to move into a beautifully furnished rental. And we stayed there for a year and ultimately decided that this was going to be our forever home.
The stars aligned.
Yeah. When we first saw this home, have you ever seen the movie Neighbors with Zac Efron? So that's what we thought. To give you a picture, we saw the house on Zillow, and at that point we had been looking at houses all around downtown Charleston. We knew we wanted something historic. We wanted something that we could, make our own. We wanted something that was classic. Our realtor had taken us to a bunch of homes. We had originally said we wanted to be kind of in a certain neighborhood. And so she took us to these homes. A lot of them had already been renovated and were like priced accordingly, but still needed a lot of changes. And I found this house on Zillow and sent it to her and said, okay, this is what I'm looking for. It's maybe not this exact location that I thought we wanted to be in, but like, let's go check it out. And we walked onto the property. What'd you think?
I mean, it was like old school. Like there was like one dude packing a lip with his feet up on like a plastic chair, or there's another dude who's like clearly baked.
Evan!
I can't say that, can I?
Probably not. I don't know.
Whatever. It's what happened.
Sorry.
So, the like living room / like I guess the dining room literally was like covered like a bookshelf, but just filled with empty Tito's bottles.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, like this is a flashback to like college fraternity parties, but like it's wild to see people living like this in like a beautiful 200-year-old house. They live differently down here, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, like everything was painted. We joke, we called it like frat house blue. Every room was like different shades of blue. There was like dark blue on the walls, a light blue on the trim. There was a staircase that had collapsed, but the guys were still walking up it. They were still using it. I mean, basically, it was a glorified frat house. So basically, you know, we thought the house had great potential. It was definitely a glorified frat house, but it had great bones. I mean, I think we were really fortunate in that we came in and so many of the original details, so like the plaster molding, the fluted columns, those things were still intact somehow. Not in great shape, but they were still here. So it kind of gave us a peek as to what this house could be.
I think the raw canvas and like the raw space was there. That was the thing that attracted me the most, because in Charleston, there's a lot of like great homes, but the lot sizes are always a big question. And we wanted something that we could have a backyard that Josephine could play in and I could grill in, and Jasmine could host, you know, different types of soirees in and all sorts of stuff. Because it's
soiree.
Soiree.
I do like to host a party. So.
She sure does. And this was the house that we found that was like, had the space, didn't have the renovation so that we could actually make it our own without it just being like a ridiculous investment. And it also, you know, in the very worst case, could serve as a host for at least 50 fishing poles. I think they had like 50 plus fishing poles in here, stuck in different like areas around the house.
Yeah,
so,
real sportsmen.
Indeed.
So Evan and I met the summer before we started college. He was 17, I think I was 18. And
cradle robber.
Okay. Our families actually introduced us. I'm gonna let Evan tell the story because I'm always curious to hear what he has to say. So
for sure.
Take it away.
So it was a dark, rainy night. I was on my compact Presario, my like tower computer. The kids who watch this aren't even gonna know what those are.
They're not gonna know what it is.
But we were connected through my aunt and my mom. Basically, our families knew each other because you know, Jasmine was in a youth group with my cousins, and so they said, "You've got to meet this girl, Jasmine. She's really, really great."
And they knew we were going to college together.
Yes, and so we connected over AIM. Jasmine was Sunny JBW something.
Just Sunny JBW.
And I was the reason. No idea why. Sounded cool at the time. Allen Iverson was huge, and I was like, I can't be just like Allen Iverson, but you know, let's get close. And
wait, and for those of you guys who don't know, AIM stands for what? AOL Instant Messenger?
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
I don't think it exists anymore, but.
If it does, I would like to burn their chat logs, because just so many embarrassing chats. But anyway, we connected then, and we wound up, you know, disconnecting fairly quickly, largely because I was immature and she was like you see her today, super, you know, elegant and beautiful and composed, and I was like a, you know, roughneck 17-year-old dude from New York. And basically what wound up happening is we reconnected once we got to school. Jasmine continued in her high fashion styles, and I continued to be a youth, and we just grew and matured separately until senior year. We came back together, started taking classes together, and kind of were inseparable for many months until we were basically inseparable for life. We've been together ever since.
Yeah, we've been together ever since. We have been married now for 9 years. We have a daughter, Josephine, who's 7. We have little dogs everywhere. My husband likes to joke that he is surrounded by small girls everywhere, which he is, and it's great. But we've been together for a long time now.
Yeah, we have. Small but mighty, all of you.
Yeah.
Big personality. Small bodies, huge personalities.
So welcome to our front room. This is the room that really sold us on this house. If you kind of just look around, the thing that really stood out when we first bought the house was all of this molding. When we first walked in, this was a bedroom to like a 21-year-old, maybe. It was dark blue. There was a bathroom in this corner. And in that area, there, I believe, was a closet. Is that right?
Yeah, they had a closet over there.
Yeah. One of the things that really stood out to us when we first walked into this room, aside from the blue paint and the boys' clothes all over the floor, was this mantle. This is an original mantle to the house. It is a wood-burning fireplace. I don't think we would use it now because I am certain that the fireplace has not been cleaned in maybe 180 years. But I mean, just all of this detail, I mean, it's so stunning. You cannot find it today. And it just felt really, really special. The other thing, when we first kind of started working in this room, the first thing we did was take out the bathroom that was here in this corner. And when we took out the bathroom, if you kind of look up, all of this molding kind of in this corner had been cut out. And so we had to find an artisan here in Charleston who could come in and literally hand craft the molding. So these are the little pieces that they left with us. But, they came in, they sat here, and painstakingly replicated this molding and, did it all the way around the corner. And, it was just such a special touch, but it also just goes to show that like these old homes really take so much energy and so much, craftsmanship. So we were just really grateful to have someone come in. The other thing in this room that I'll kind of point out are the original floors, and you'll see that throughout the house, but the floors in this home are antique heart pine. And, it was really important to us to really do everything we could to restore these floors because you can't find them anymore. And the ones that you do find are like, I think, a 1/2 inch thick, and the ones that they made 200 years ago are a 1 inch thick, and that's a whole other thing. So decor-wise, we haven't really done a whole lot. I mean, my primary goal when we came in was to get rid of the frat house blue. So, we painted the walls in here, setting plaster, which is a Pharaoh and ball color. And then all of our furniture is still in storage. So I basically just went, to some local stores and bought pieces that I could find that felt neutral, that could kind of ground the room and could kind of give us an opportunity to use it for now. But, ultimately I have big plans of, built-in sofas in the corner and rugs and window treatments and art and, all the things that really make a home special. But for now, this works for us and we love spending time in here. Now, I'd love to show you our foyer as we head into the dining room. So let's go. And this is our foyer. I will say when we first bought the house, we walked into this door and I think we're just struck by how grand it felt. That being said, the staircase, if you can kind of look up, the staircase was sagging. And we had, 4 or 5 guys living in here, like walking up a sagging staircase. So that was a little unnerving. But as you can see, we also have this beautiful chandelier here. I'm kidding. All of the light in here was conveyed when we bought the house, and it's all kind of frat boy lights, but it's fine for now. But one of the things that I love in this home is I love these stairs. Our Our spindles are original. And when we first came in, like I said, we had kind of the sagging staircase. We also had a ton of missing spindles. So if as you go up, you'll see we have just some pieces of wood that are kind of holding some things together so no one falls. But we, had a wonderful, woodworker recreate the original spindles that are in a box that still need to be installed. Most of our windows in the house are original. But as you can see, we still have this window right here that's going to be put in. But I love this space. It just feels like such a magical kind of grand entryway. And, I have grand plans of maybe hand-painted wallpaper. I'd love to do something really special like painting the floor. We definitely want to add some sort of stair runner, which will be at the very, very end of the project. But, we have these small dogs running around. So ultimately, like this space, while it still feels grand and special, still has a lot of work to do. But we are up for the challenge. So now I'm going to take you guys into the dining room. And right now, we're still essentially using it as its, intended purpose, which is a dining room. It is nothing special. This room is such a work in progress. But, my main goal for this house right now, like when you're living through a renovation or a restoration, nothing's meant to be perfect. I'm not trying to decorate it or furnish it right now. I'm just trying to get it to a place where my family feels comfortable living and we feel comfortable having people like Homeworthy walk through our home. So in this room, what you'll see now basically are all of my samples. I don't want to say it's a storage room, but it's kind of like our landing space for right now. I have a dining table, which one of my little tricks, I guess, is that I keep renting dining room tables from like an event planning company so I can test out the size. So I think this is like a 90-inch round or something. We have this beautiful light again, so, college guy lights. But one of the things that was really exciting and special about this room was, again, this mantle. So it mirrors the mantle that's in the front room. This is original. This one is obviously not in the same condition as the front. And so, as we're going through this renovation journey, restoring this mantle, we have some of the fragments, but restoring this mantle is a huge priority for us. When we first bought this house, this room was being used as a den. So to kind of set the stage, like if you can imagine 5 20-year-old guys living in a home, like what do you think their den would look like? So in one corner, there was a sofa, like a big kind of sectional sofa. In another corner, there was a keg stand, and all along these shelves were empty Tito's bottles. And it smelled so bad. It smelled like must and mold and dried alcohol. And I was like, it's perfect. This is our home. It clearly really resonated with my husband and me. So, the only things we've done in here are really restore these floors. So if you can kind of look down and see, like these, again, I said are antique heart pine floors. And when you have a bunch of people living in a space not taking care of the floors, like I said, there was dried beer, there were keg stands in this room. The floors had really, really taken a beating. And basically when you walked, it was like, they were just like wet, squishy floors. And so we had to let everything dry out. We then encapsulated the crawl space, which is under the house. And then we had someone come in and, restore the floors. The color's original, everything's original, but it did have to be refinished. This was a section where the guys who were living here before, they kind of had their big couch. They were probably spilling, all their beverages or whatever, but it just wore the floors out. And so, the plan for this room is we really want to keep it as a dining room, and we love kind of the classic flow of a Charleston single, but we're really excited about thinking about ways to bring in more light. This is a really dark room, which is not great. I think one of the things we may do is take out these bookshelves. They're not original at all. I think it was an investor choice to give space for Tito's bottles. But we really want to brighten up the room. Like maybe we'll add some beautiful wallpaper. We have, lots of doors that kind of come in and out. We may make those, give those some glass or something. But this is going to just be a room that, the layout will stay the same, but we'll really go in and clean it up. Fix the molding, the trim. There's like chewed up trim because there were dogs living here. So we're gonna go through, clean that up, and really just make it feel like a classic dining room again. We bought this house, I guess about 2 years ago. When we bought it, the college guys were still here. We let them kind of finish out their lease. And we started doing some of that initial restoration work, probably like October, November of that year. And for 6 months straight, we just did, and by we, our wonderful contractors and, craftspeople came in and did the work of the Lord to get it to a place that we could live. Now we took a little break because we also needed to live and, do some other life things. But now we're starting what I hope will be kind of the next big phase, which is kind of the full-scale renovation. We just worked with our architect to get our existing conditions drawn, and it's probably going to be a 1.5 year or maybe 2-year project. It's a big one, but to Evan's point, like you're never done. Like these homes, they require so much of our love and so much of our attention, which I think is wonderful. So there's always going to be something to do and move and tinker with, and yeah.
Yeah, I think there's just so many different aspects of it that need to be addressed. So like the combination of the two houses and figuring out the whole landscape in the backyard, and I think it's definitely going to be some time, but the path along the way is going to be so interesting because there's going to be so many decisions to make. There's going to be so many things that are going to impact how we live in the future. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Yay! We're buckled in.
I'm going to be a contractor by the time we're done. For sure. I'm going to just be wearing a tool belt all the time. Here in South Carolina, and specifically in Charleston, there's this commission, essentially. It's called BAR, which basically
Board of Architectural Review.
They manage what you can and can't do, and it's everything you can see from the street. So I have grand designs of how we can expand the footprint and the square footage, but there's also very strict limitations on what you actually can do here and what you can't. So you can get creative, and the architect we've chosen is very, very creative, which is great. So I'm excited and also nervous about what we can and can't do for that. But then beyond that, I think the landscaping is the biggest thing, because I feel like there's so many ways to screw up landscaping, and it's so expensive and it's so hard to go back on it once you've done it. I think I'm an outdoor, I would love to spend at least half my time outdoors, working outdoors, grilling, hanging out by the pool. And it's gonna be a big part of the way that we live our life with indoor-outdoor flow. So I wanna get it right. I'm excited for what could be, but I also just wanna make sure, given the space that we have, what are we going to do and how are we going to do it and how are we going to do it in a way that we don't have to redo everything because we screwed it up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think I'm most excited about having a proper, well-lit kitchen. I think, one of the things that attracted us to this house was the natural light. You kind of step in and it was just sunshine in a lot of rooms. But towards the back of the house, it becomes a cave. So I'm excited about thinking about ways we can, bring light and, some more life into the back of the house. I'm also really excited about having a closet. Right now I have a college guy's closet, which just does not work because I have so many shoes and so many clothes, and I have things in storage bags, I have things in boxes. We have 2 storage units that are packed to the brim. I'm just excited about having a closet like an adult. right?
Yeah, I haven't had one in our adult life ever, I don't think so. What Jasmine's not saying is that I would say two things. Thing one is that 95% of the closet space is currently in use for Jasmine's.
I have a lot of stuff.
As you might imagine. To look like this requires expansive space and creativity. The second thing is Jasmine has taken up cooking and is like master chef now. So I need like a little chef hat. I'm gonna be hitting you with like yes chefs and all that stuff. So getting her a kitchen is primary goal for me because it's gonna lead to so many delicious moments for all of us. And I like to cook too, but like you really like taking it to the next level. And
I basically make fried okra and pasta.
Stop. But you cook like 3-4 times a week. You've got like your staples, you've got your, combos that you hit, regularly with, and then you get a little funky sometimes.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you don't have high expectations.
We're starting off here. We're just gonna bubble it up.
Okay.
For the next 50 years.
Anywho, so what I'm nervous about, to circle back, what am I nervous about? Honestly, I'm not, like nothing. I'm excited. I mean, I think that this is a great opportunity for us and for our family. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. There already has been. I know it's not gonna be an inexpensive endeavor. But I think ultimately, like, it's gonna be our forever home, and it's a place where we can, have our family, our daughter can bring her friends and, our family over. And it's just gonna be a really magical place that will hopefully be forever. So now I wanna take you guys upstairs where we will see our bedroom and Josephine's bedroom. So let's go. So now we're gonna show you my daughter Josephine's room. So Josephine here is our one and only. She is 7 years old. She is so excited to have Homeworthy here, and she would love to share a bit about her room with you guys. So Josephine, take it away.
So this is my bed, and I love to sleep on it because it's really comfy.
Yeah, what do you like about your bed?
I like it because of the texture, because like when I sleep on it, there's nothing that feels bad on my back.
Okay, so quality sheets, I love it. What about your canopy? Do you want to tell us about that?
So my canopy, I feel like I'm a real princess, but we haven't gotten the curtains yet.
Okay, that's next phase of the project. We'll get you some curtains.
This is Addie.
Is that an American Girl doll?
Yes.
How many American Girl dolls do you have?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at my grandparents' house.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to show us? Maybe anything on your dresser?
I have a locket here. So this is really special because I got it when I was 6, but it didn't come with my initials, so I got it printed, but I don't have anything inside it yet.
That's okay.
This is my golden horse. I got it at a little...
Oh, you got it at an antique store here in Charleston.
Yeah, I got it at an antique store.
Yeah.
And
Josephine is my favorite shopping buddy.
I'm trying not to break it because it's really special and I think it's fragile.
Well, one of the things we were just talking about is going antiquing. So Josephine is my little shopping buddy, and we love going around Charleston and going to different antique stores. We love going to 17 South.
17 South?
It's our antique store. That's where you got the little horse.
Oh.
Yeah, there's another great one that just opened up downtown called Shop Found or Found Shop. And yeah, I mean, a lot of little trinkets in her room are little things that we've picked up from antique stores here and there. She loves to shop. So do you have anything else you want to show us? What about your little shell box that we got?
I have 2 shell boxes, but I don't have anything in them. I used to. And I got this from Jonathan Green.
This is a kaleidoscope that Josephine got as a gift from local artist Jonathan Green. He's a wonderful family friend, and when she performed in the Nutcracker this year. So it was her first time in a dance recital. He gifted her this kaleidoscope. So that's something special that she keeps in her room. So in Josephine's room, we really haven't done a whole lot. This is essentially the original layout when we bought the house. So there was a college guy living in this room, but we were lucky because it does have a bathroom, it does have a closet. And so the only things we've really done in here are just give it a fresh coat of paint and get Josephine a canopy bed. And she's pretty happy with it right now. Our goal is to make sure that she feels comfortable, that she has her comfy bedding, as she told us. She has her desk here, her nightstands, all of her toys and dolls that are literally everywhere. But what we hope to do in the room when we do start the renovation is actually go through and really fine tune all of the detail. So if you look around, you'll see kind of the closet doors are like contractor grade doors. They're fine, but there's nothing really meaty or special about them. So our goal is to come in here, really fine tune all of the molding. We'll replace the doors, all of the door hardware. The black door hardware is not really my thing. So we'll change that out. So one of the things that we plan to keep in the room when we do the renovation is this mantle. Our understanding is that it is one of the original mantles in the home. That being said, if you look behind me, we have these beautiful contractor grade closet doors, this beautiful black hardware. Things like that are the things that we're going to change in the room. So we're really going to go around and fine tune everything. So all of the molding, we're going to restore whatever's original, replace whatever is not, authentic to the home, and really just kind of tighten this space up. Design-wise, Josephine has already told us she wants a pink room. So we've picked out, some wallpaper, some fabrics that I'm super excited about. But in the meantime, we're just keeping it basic, simple, easy, and we'll really start working on this room as we get further along in the project. So next, I will take you to our primary bedroom, which luckily for Josephine is right across the hall. It's getting prepped for paint, so I will show you the chaos. Let's go. So right now we're walking into our primary bedroom. There is nothing glamorous about this. I think people always say, when you're like a hairdresser or like, a designer, like the things that, the people that don't get the attention are like yourself. So that's kind of what's going on in here. I really have prioritized making that first floor kind of the space where my family is living, and when we entertain, when we have folks over, like it's presentable. Our primary bedroom is literally just a place where we sleep, and it's complete chaos right now. We're having some contractors come in to paint today, which I'm excited about. We aren't making any sort of changes or doing anything major in this room for now, because this is where the real renovation is going to begin on the second floor. So basically, you walk up the stairs, you have this landing. We're hoping to preserve all of that. But then once you cross the threshold into the master or primary bedroom, all of this will change. I'm hoping for closets, for bathrooms, for, things that grown-ups like and need. But now, everything is literally on the floor because it's just chaos. But I will kind of walk you over here and just show you outside, because it'll kind of give you an idea of the possibilities and the potential that we see. So if you look outside of this window, you can see this area is where our current bathroom is, but back here is all of this space. So we have a kitchen house that is connecting to the back, but it doesn't connect on the top. It only connects on the first floor. And so we have an opportunity to extend the second floor through a hyphen and expand the square footage, again, I have dreams of a beautiful bathroom, of walk-in closets, but we'll kind of leave it to our architect and kind of play around and see what's possible here. That being said, I don't love Frat House blue. This is a lighter shade of Frat House blue. So I'm just excited to like switch up the wall colors and put down a rug and make little baby steps so that it feels comfortable in the meantime while we are waiting for the renovation to begin. So now I'm gonna take you guys outside and show you what we've done and what we hope to do in the months to come. So let's go.
So in terms of why renovate, I just think that when you buy a house that's been renovated, it's gonna be like 80% of the way there. It'll be like almost what you want. Usually it's almost never exactly what you want. And for what we're trying to do, which is like a one and done situation, I hope this will be our home in 30 years, 40 years. I hope, we'll grow old here and Josephine will bring her kids here. Yeah. And the truth of it is that we want it to be perfect for what we want. And I think Jasmine has impeccable style, and I have the, great capability to relax and chill and keep things very functional. So I will certainly try to find a nook to put a lazy boy somewhere in here. I'm certain it won't happen, but
that's not gonna happen.
But I think it's gonna be able to allow us to have, a future home that is exactly what we want, ultimately.
Yeah, and I think, we were ready for a project. When we lived in New York, I had started my career as a lawyer, but my creative juices started to flow. And when I was on maternity leave with my daughter, I actually went to the New York School of Interior Design, got a certificate, and started doing full-scale renovations in New York. So I feel confident that we can do this. I've never done my own renovation, so I'm super excited about that. But it's what we want to do. We've already spent probably 6 months doing some of the unseen, getting this house in a condition that is suitable for a family and not for fraternity guys or 21-year-old boys. But it's a journey.
Yeah, I think if we want it to last the next 200 years, that first initial set of things that are super important but you can't see them at all are really key, but incredibly frustrating to do.
So frustrating.
Literally can't see any.
My money's in the crawl space. Yeah. So we have a few goals with this project, if you will. Our first and primary goal is definitely restoration. This home has been here for almost 200 years. In fact, we still have the original slate roof, which is another story. But it's important to us to preserve what has been here for this long. I really believe that we are stewards of these homes. Charleston is such a special place because it has the charm, it has the history. And these homes are really the fabric of this city. So, our first primary goal, which we've done a lot of already, was to just restore what was original to the home. So the floors, the plaster, we're gonna get to the roof at some point. But the columns, everything that we could really save, that has been, I think, our biggest priority. And then what else?
Definitely. I think making sure that the final product honors the history, because there's some really, really cool, rich history, is a big piece of the puzzle. But in addition to that, I think bringing it to a place where I have a more modern style. Obviously, Jasmine's style is very, classic. And so for the purposes of what I'm looking for, I definitely want to make sure there's modern amenities and the ways that we're, thinking about where the plug outlets go, and that it's actually functional for the way that we want to live our life. And I'm in technology, so there's got to be some type of technological integration into it in terms of smart home and probably a VR room, maybe. But a close second in terms of importance for me is having a subterranean speakeasy built under our home. I've been pitching this for some time now. We have a cistern under our house that is a perfect set for a pirate style speakeasy that's really done up nice with all different types of bottles and all that stuff. It's perfect. Literally you could have a little, lever that you pull inside of like a bathroom door and it swings open and then you're down there and it's super cool.
Well, but the first thing before we have this speakeasy is we need to make sure the water no longer collects in the cistern, because that is currently what happens. So we now have sunk pumps to push the water out. So we have a few steps before we get there.
We'll hire the people that built the Panama Canal.
Okay.
They're team, and we'll bring them here, or the people who built Amsterdam.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think our other goals, I think with the renovation, as Evan said, really, the goal is to, honor the past, but make it functional for modern living. So we would love a kitchen that has newer appliances. We don't have a backyard right now. We literally have a gravel parking lot. And, we have a small kid who wants a pool, who wants, a swing set. So, we're really trying to think about how we want to live and kind of the memories that we want to create for our family, and think about a restoration and a renovation, with that in mind. So this is our front yard. The front of the home was something that we really wanted to prioritize after the crawl space, the floors, the paint. And, it was just really important to us for the exterior of the home, not only to be preserved, but to also just feel like it was a place that we would want to come home to. So when we first bought the house, it was bright yellow. Is that right?
It was.
Yeah, it was like
dark yellow.
It was dark. It was like a
dingy yellow.
Dirty yellow. All of the shutters had kind of fallen off. We still need shutters, so don't judge. But the yard was super overgrown. I think there were what were those trees?
Palm trees. There were palm trees and a dying magnolia.
Oh yeah.
Sad.
All of this was concrete. There were weeds growing everywhere. And so, after we kind of did the things that we needed to do to kind of shore the home up so we could live in it, we've spent a ton of time just reimagining the front garden. So I'll tell you a little bit about what we did. A garden, as we now know, is always a work in progress. So we're learning and replacing lime trees and doing things all the time. But I want to show you this railing. I don't know if you want to if you want to kind of look at this gate. So all of this ironwork was original to the house. And so when we started the landscaping, the iron was old and dingy and crumbled, but it also was set on a concrete knee wall that had also been crumbling over time. And so we were able to restore the ironwork. We added brick knee wall and then just made a really, I think, beautiful, brick kind of entryway. Our front stairs were also that really challenged black concrete. Challenged is a
kind term to use.
They literally had to take it out with a sledgehammer? Is that what it's called?
Jackhammer, yeah.
Jackhammer. With a jackhammer. But basically, we added, brick staircase with, what is this on the top that you like? Bluestone treads. We have in our garden now a cute little lemon tree. And, we've added plants and all of that jazz. The front, again, is something that we really wanted to prioritize. If you kind of look up, these lights are not original, but they're old. So I always have blue tape because I'm always trying new sizes for lights, but that's next on the list. I think that and shutters.
Yeah, and
and
the
the
roof, the mini roof.
Oh, we have so much to do.
Yes. Did you tell them about your plant?
Which one?
This one's Jasmine's plant. She potted this one herself. We're all very impressed.
Yeah. That is my contribution. But yeah, no, I mean, we have great people who have been helping us with their yard, who have taught us so much. And yeah, we're learning, but it's fun. We come out here in the morning with our coffee, get bit up by mosquitoes, but we love it. We come out here with our wine in the evening and just kind of tinker. But it's a great place, and I'm glad that it was something that we were able to prioritize.
When we first moved in, these crepe myrtles were on their last legs, and they essentially were like stick figure trees, basically, that had like a few leaves. And so we spent the time to, work with our landscaper to get them revitalized, I would say. And now we got what we wanted, which was a canopy with like beautiful pink, beautiful white crepe myrtles that just kind of bring everything together. It's really, really cool to kind of drive in there and see this like canopy style. We don't have those gigantic like oak, canopy, but this is our Charleston version.
We have the Charleston version, which are these like beautiful crepe myrtles. And it's still a lot more to come.
For sure,
but,
for sure.
But we have a front yard. Now that we've shown you the front yard, let's go check out the piazza. Come on, follow us. So this is our piazza. These are just classic to these downtown Charleston homes. Historically, they were designed so that, a breeze would come into the home. You kind of leave all your doors open. There'd be this wonderful breeze. The other piece is that if you would leave the door open, then folks would know that you're open and welcoming to entertain. So that's something that I think is really special. So for the piazza, there's so much to talk about. The first thing I think that really struck us was the scale of the piazza. The piazzas in Charleston really come in all different sizes. You'll see some that are smaller, some that are large, some that are wide, some that are narrow. But this one felt pretty wide. It also has really, really high ceilings. And also kind of custom to the time that the home was built were, this design with these fluted columns. And so on this downstairs part of the piazza, we were fortunate in that the piazza had been restored by a previous owner not too long ago. So the wood was still in, decent condition. The fluted columns, which are original, were in wonderful condition. We really came in and just spruced it up a little bit. So when we walked onto the piazza, when we first bought it, it was like dark and
it was like gray. It was like weird, like naval ship gray.
It was sad. It was really sad. So, again, just kind of prioritizing kind of the exterior and kind of that first entryway when you step into the home. We really put a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears into this piazza. I was obsessed with the idea of having checkered floors. So our painters came. This is hand painted. They came and put the tape down themselves. I measured it and helped, with the design, but they came and hand painted all of it.
It was extremely impressive.
It really was, yeah. We did not have electricity out here, now that I think about it, right? I think
they had to wire all this.
Yeah, so everything out here has been wired. We've added different pots. We have our topiaries. We still need to do shutters. We still need a fan. Lots of things that we still need to do. We still need some more outdoor furniture. But this is a special place for us. We come out here all the time. Josephine comes out, as you can see, and rides her bike, has her scooter. We don't have a backyard yet. So this is really kind of her play space. But I think in terms of design, this is the space that I'm probably most proud of because it was such a big, impactful transformation. And I think really kind of showcases our vibe and how we hope the rest of the home will feel once we're really done with it.
For sure.
So now that we've shown you guys the piazza, the next thing we want to show you is the backyard and the rest of the house. And I'm going to let Evan really lead this one because this is all his vision and it's a big piece of why we bought this home. So let's go.
Let's do it. So this is the current state of the backyard. We've got big plans. We'll walk through a few of them. Right now, we've just got probably several 100,000 rocks
So many rocks.
A
So
lot.
many rocks, but big dreams.
Waiting to be formed. So basically the way that we see it is the driveway is going to be bricked in ribbons with either grass or slate or perhaps crushed oyster shells in the middle, with a gate that leads into a parterre style garden, which Jasmine is really excited about. Now I'm really excited about the idea of like different rooms for the outdoor space. Seems like a really exciting way to go about living. My most, compelling room is probably the grill room, the room where the grilling will occur, in the pool area, which is very exciting. But it all kind of starts here with the kitchen house. So the kitchen house is original. It's attached to the main house, but they're completely separate. Mm-hmm. And so the kitchen house is going to be annexed. We're going to connect both of these houses together, and we're going to essentially create a hyphen that connects these two spaces. If I had my druthers, we would raise it to meet the same height as the main house and expand it so that it's the same width. And
that's not going to happen.
Probably not, but a boy can dream.
We do recognize that the BAR will probably not want that to happen. So
Bar's listening. I didn't say that. But in any event, we're going to connect them. This is going to become a suite with master, family room, expanded kitchen, etc. Out here will probably be some type of garden activities. I would imagine Jazz has some ideas.
Yeah, I think back here, we really bought the house because of the possibilities back here. We came back and we saw this expansive lot. We were not thinking about the time or the effort or the money that it will take to like spruce it up, but we were like, it's kind of like the Lion King, where they're like, oh. Anyways.
Look, son.
Right.
There's something.
Everything the light touches is yours.
Basically. I've definitely stood up there and felt like that with that little lot.
But anyways, we just see the potential. And I think what was most exciting to us was the opportunity to really make it our own. And, we're starting from a completely blank slate. As Evan said, this kitchen house is an original structure. Right now, it's being rented out to tenants. So we're still supporting the college kids in Charleston. But we have tenants here who are wonderful. And once they move out, we'll be able to start going in and, discovering what we can do. Because right now, we really don't know. There's not much on the interior of this kitchen house that is still original. The previous owners kind of just went in and ripped everything out. So it's been kind of redesigned for college living. Back here is another structure. The buildings just keep going, which felt exciting at the time, but sometimes we're like, what did we just get ourselves into? But it really just goes to show how deep the lot is, which is, again, was something that was super exciting to us. But this building, I believe, was constructed in the 70s. So we know it's not original because this house was built in like 1865, or 1870. And so this building that you see here was built to be 2 apartments. And when we bought it, there were tenants living in there. We no longer have tenants because our hope is that when we start the renovation, fingers crossed, we can start building and constructing from the back. And then once they get into the front, we can just kind of move to the back. So we have these lofty plans of living in our home during the renovation. So I'll keep you posted on how that goes. It's going to be chaos. But, we've been sold a lot of dreams. And so far, I think they've worked out. But yeah, so this building is probably going to get torn down because it's not original. So I think we'll be able to do that. And then, build something beautiful and fitting for our family.
Tell them about your dream.
What's my dream here? I have so many dreams. Here, what we'd love to do is have a brick structure. I still think we're working out, do we want it to be a pool house? Do we want it to be an extension of the kitchen house? I just think there's so many possibilities, and we've started working with a wonderful architect who has done homes like this many times before, but he's so thoughtful and he's so creative. And so I kind of just want to wait to see what he shows us. Like, I'm hoping he gives us like 5 options, and then we can like maybe pick 2 or 3. But yeah, I mean, just it's not pretty back here.
Not yet.
Not yet, but it will be. And I just think we're excited about it all. So
It's got all the bones for a great outdoor space. There's enough space for pool, essentially pool house, play areas for Josephine, sitting areas, outdoor movie theater, cigar circle, fire pit.
We're not going to do all of that.
Kickball area.
Okay. So yeah, but basically it'll, this is where, the real project begins. I think when you saw the main house, you saw that we did a lot of restoring, and that, our goal for the main house was to just get it to a state where we could protect what's original on the inside. We could preserve the exterior to the best of our ability and just ensure that it can last for another 200 years. And, we didn't want to even begin to start tinkering and tearing down walls and, moving rooms until we were really confident that the foundation was as strong and as solid as it could be. And so now that I think we've gotten there, maybe, except for our roof, we do have to replace the roof.
We do, regrettably so.
We have to replace the roof. That's another story. But, now that we've gotten there, now I think the real fun is about to begin. Homeworthy, thank you so much for joining us in our home. It has been such a pleasure to walk you guys through all of the things that we've done so far. Also show you all the things that we still need to do. So I hope you're prepared. And on the next episode, I am so excited to walk through the history of this home and discover all of the magical things about it. So see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.